Hi everybody and welcome to another top 5 records video, and today is gonna be a tricky one because today I'm gonna be talking about one of the most loved bands of all times and a band who has a great back catalog. I mean, this band did not make one bad record, not a single one bad album, so this list is gonna be hard, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm talking of course about the Beatles, and on number 5 on my favorite Beatles list, it's the record which I would describe as the end of their some of the final record of their live period, their typical rock and roll period. But this is the one which has all the hits, which has the craftiest of songwritings. I mean, songs that anyone with a guitar plays them and they're still good. It's the Beatles. Help! And the first time this album really got me by my throat was the time when I listened to it on mono. This album, especially in mono, is great, and it has simple reason. I mean, I'm not a monophile. I do love mono records, but a lot of Beatles records were first mixed in mono, so they had to choose the takes, and it took a couple of days to mix the album. And most of the times, the stereo editions in those days, in the mid '60s and even sometimes the late '60s. The Beatles were not in the room, the artists were not in the room. Very few people had a stereo record or a stereo system, so the mono one was the one that got all the attention. So there are mono pressings of Beatles records with different guitar solos, with better vocals, and Help. Also, just the mixing, the way it grabs you by the face in the mono pressing, it is amazing. I mean, it starts off with Help. The first time John Lennon got personal in a song, it's... before this, most of the lyrics were a bit easygoing, a lot of love, a lot of girls, and here they actually get emotional. Ticket to Ride is a great song, but what I also think is a great example of a more personal song, though they did not write it, is Act Naturally. The first time it was recorded was by Buck Owens and his Buckaroos. I'm not sure whether they also wrote the song, but Act Naturally in Ringo Starr's voice, with just the experience of them starting to make films, and they felt lonely making these films. It's a very good song. This album has songs you can discover, but also songs you have heard and which just are great when you hear them on a first British pressing, and any pressing. Just get this record. I've just seen a face. I can't forget the time. Oh, I love it. Yesterday. Yes, I mean, this album has Yesterday. What more can I say? Yesterday. So on number 5, Help. On the number 4, this needs a bit of background. I never really liked Let It Be. I did not like the songs that much. I did not like the sound of it. I never really understood why this was such a big Beatles record. And then I got this one, Let It Be Naked. Because I was not the only one who didn't really like Let It Be. Paul McCartney didn't like it as well. So what did he do? I believe in 2003, he decided to strip it down, because the initial idea of making Let It Be was for the band to be stripped down as well, to record songs again without a wall of sound like Phil Spector wanted to do on Let It Be, without orchestras, without other musicians. They decided we should make it small and with a band. So Phil Spector and John Lennon, they blew it up during mixing and during production. And Paul McCartney brought it back to its core essence on Let It Be Naked. But it's not only the difference. Some songs were left out, some songs were put on. For example, Don't Let Me Down, which was only released as a single and recorded for this album, but it just didn't end up on the original Let It Be album. And Don't Let Me Down, it rocks, it really rocks. I saw that song for the first time on a registration of that rooftop concert, that Apple rooftop concert, and I immediately loved it, but I couldn't find it on any record because at the time I saw it, this one wasn't released yet. This album got the track list right. It got the song order right, it got the mixing right, and what you hear here are the Beatles in the core of their power. It is amazing. I really, really love this record. I mean, just a simple example, on the other Let It Be version, Let It Be is somewhere, I believe, on side 1, not even the final song. How can Let It Be, this anthem, not be the final song of the Let It Be album? Of course it's the final song on this album. It's much more natural, and it rocks. Get Back rocks. Oh man, I really love it. Try to get this one. I mean, the vinyl is hard to find, but get a CD. Forget the other Let It Be. This is it. Let It Be Naked. On 4. On 3, though Let It Be was released as the final record, this was the final record to be recorded, Abbey Road. And Abbey Road, yeah, I got a t-shirt as well. What is there to say about Abbey Road? It's a brilliant record. It's the Beatles getting back without Phil Spector. I mean, Phil Spector did great things, but he also blew up a lot of things, quite literally actually. And this one is pure again produced by George Martin. These songs are just so good. I mean, it starts off with Come Together. After that, Something. Maxwell's Silverhammer. Octopus's Garden. I think Octopus's Garden is the best Ringo Starr song. Now, I really think that's a fun little song. And the second side, Here Comes the Sun. It's a nice tune. It's a nice tune. But the best thing on this record, it's the ending. Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, and the end. It's such an epic goodbye to a recording career. And everybody thought they knew this was their goodbye, but actually they had some, they were discussing doing another album after these. But the Beatles wanted everybody to contribute 3 songs, and Paul McCartney actually wanted to contribute more. He was starting to become more in his solo thinking. So they decided to stop. This one, and there are actually audio recordings of these discussions, so I'm not making this up. You can check it out online on number 3, Abbey Road. Number 2, the first Beatles record I actually ever listened to, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And I love it. I love it. I remember the first time I put this one on. I was stunned. I really was stunned, because the songs they dissolve in each other, or not dissolving is not the right word. The atmosphere just it takes each other over. There's a unity to these songs. There's a unity to this record. I really love A Day in the Life. I think A Day in the Life might be the best Beatles song. It's so sensitive, but also so gargantuous. The production is so enormous, and I fell in love the first time when I heard this. There was on a CD, a stereo version. And then a year ago, I bought a mono needle and a British mono pressing. And then things really fall into place, because this record should be listened to in mono. It is so good. The guitar on the opening song, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, it is rough, and it should be rough. And in the mono mix, you hear it rough. I mean, despite all the other takes and reverbs, sound-wise, this record is full in mono, and it is so, so good. This changed listening to music for me. And now, the number 1, my favorite Beatles album. I did a lot of writing on this album. I'm a writer-director, and I listen to a lot of music while working, and it dictates the feeling and emotions of certain things which you make. And this one did a lot for me. The White Album. What can I say about the White Album? It is so diverse. It has so much different emotions. I mean, it has Helter Skelter on one side, and it has the Good Night song by Ringo Starr. Is that the right title? Oh, I might. I'm just checking. Yeah, Good Night. The Good Night song. The Good Night song. I can call it the Good Night song. On the other side, I mean, it has so much diversity. Your blues, John Lennon doing the blues, and he's really good at it. All these songs. I mean, even the tiny strange songs. They make this. I think they make this a unity. A lot of people say, yeah, it's a situation in which the Beatles were going away, taking different courses, going their own way. But there is even in that a unity. It is bizarre, it is unique, it takes you all kinds of places, and I really think this is the best Beatles record. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm pretty curious what you guys think of this list. And tell me, do you disagree or do you agree? Please respond below.